Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I want to tell you a story. Growing up, from the time I was 12, I went to church on my own. But up until I was about 5 or 6, I went with my whole family, and it was always fun. My brother Kevin would scare me in church by flipping his eyelid back where you could see the pink part. And one Sunday, I looked over and he was like, ooh. And my mother, of course, was caught up in the hymns and wasn't paying attention. But this time I just nudged her to let her see what was happening. She looked at my brother Kevin and slapped his hand, and his lids came back down. Actually, now that I remember the story, he got him stuck there. And okay, so that's not the story I want to tell you, but it's a good story. So if you have a brother who did that, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, um, my brother and I were supposed to sing on Easter Sunday, and we were to recite our verse and then sing a song. And my mother had volunteered us, and my brother took over the rehearsals, and he taught me the song, and he told me what I was supposed to say. And my scripture verse was, in all thy ways acknowledge God, and he will direct thy paths. And I remember us arguing about it because I said, my oldest sister Myrna said God was not a man. God was love. God was a spirit. And so my brother said, no, God is a man because he's our Father who art in heaven. Anyway, I said it the way I was supposed to. Well, we got up ready to sing, and I had on my color block dress, and it was red, white, and blue, and Kevin had on a blue blazer and a red tie and white shirt and crisp pants, and our shoes were Vaseline. If you don't understand the importance of Vaseline in the Black community, you ought to check that out. Anyway, so Easter was a big thing in Wilmington, Delaware. Easter and Mother's Day, very, very big things, because after church, all the Black people would promenade from all the way Market Street, the east side of Wilmington, all the way to the Brandywine and around the Brandywine and back. It was a big old Easter parade promenade, and you would just stroll in your clothes, and sometimes people would be singing, but it was just this beautiful, dignified look at how amazing we are. It was a part of a period of time when Easter, Mother's Day, and the Big August Quarterly, which happened the last Sunday, I think, in August. And it started in 1814 in Wilmington, Delaware, where it was one of the quarterly times when people of different faiths would go to their churches to report their quarterly reports of what was going on. And Delaware was a slave state. Even though we didn't secede from the Union, it was a slave state, but there were free blacks and enslaved blacks because it was also the home of many Quakers, that whole region, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey area. So free blacks and enslaved blacks would come together to share their faith. They would sing, they would testify, and they would dance to the Lord. And so this period continued, and even during enslavement, abolitionists would come and share stories of freedom and hope, and it was a time to be had. So this continued up into the 60s, this promenade around the city. But when I checked with some elders yesterday, people who've been around a while and who really know the history, not just the story, but the history, they said that it was stopped because white folks didn't want black folks using the bathrooms in the Brandywine Park, and so it stopped. But like anything good and true and steeped in love, it has come back, and Big August Quarterly is Big August Quarterly again. Anyway, that Sunday, my brother and I were supposed to sing, and we had practice, and we were ready for our song. I had my little white gloves, and I stood up there and I was afraid, and Kevin had my hand and he squeezed it, and I said my verse. It was time to say him to say his, and he was just like, all these people, nobody told me it was going to be all these people. So I squeezed his hand and he didn't say anything. And then the minister said, well, what are you all going to sing? And so I turned and whispered into Kevin's ear the name of the song. And my mother said, tell everybody. And I did. We're singing Glory, Glory. And they said, well, go ahead and sing it. And Kevin marched off like he was already a Marine and left me by myself. And so I started singing. Glory, glory, Hallelujah. Since I laid my burdens down. And I sang, and people started standing up and they were clapping and singing with me. Hallelujah. Since I laid my burdens down, I feel better, so much better. Since I laid my burdens down, I feel better, so much better. Since I laid my burdens down. I know the word is burden, but back then. And I think about this song now and I laugh and I wonder, why would we be singing about burdens? We were kids. But later on, we understood that song fully, and we understood why our mother and her mother sang that song, and we understood the power of the song and the power of laying those burdens down. And so yesterday when I called my brother to talk about us singing that song, he said, yeah, my kids know that song really well. I sing it every time I go to the bathroom and come out. I said, yeah, but you left me singing it by myself. Anyway, I think it was a song of freedom. I think it was a code song like many of the other spirituals. I think it was a song of friends don't treat me like they used to now that I'm free. Take a stroll down your memories and see how they connect to others, to your family, to the love. I love you.